Does that tell you what the objective of the Roman Catholic Church is? It's world dominion. By once again sitting on the civil powers of the world to dominate and control as she did in the past. You say, well, she sounds so nice now, so conciliatory. That's true. Well, let me say, folks, and I say this solemnly, that's the way the devil works. The devil doesn't work openly. He works underground. He makes evil look good, and he makes good look evil. Now, what about the time frame? How soon in the mind of Malachi Martin is this dominion going to take place? He says in his book, The Keys of This Blood, pages 15 through 16, the following. As to the time factor involved, those of us who are under 70 will see at least the basic structures of the new world government installed. And he says, under the Roman Catholic papacy. Remember this. Those of us under 40 will surely live under its legislative, executive, and judiciary authority and control. You need to get a copy of that book and read it. I mean, it's not covert. There's nothing hidden there. It openly tells you what the objective of the Roman Catholic Church is. And by the way, Malachi Martin says it's inevitable that the papacy is going to be the winner because God has willed it that way. That's why he calls it the keys of this blood. God has said that that's the way it's going to be, and no human being can prevent it. Now here's the big question. How is this deadly wound going to be healed? Who is going to bring about its healing? And how is it going to happen? We're going to study this in our next lecture. Revelation's land beast. We're going to find that the deadly wound will be healed by the most unlikely nation in the world. A nation that rises from the earth and has two horns like a lamb, but ends up speaking like a dragon. You say, Pastor Bor, what nation in its right mind would return the sword to the papacy knowing the historical track record of the papacy? What nation in its right mind would do such a thing? The problem is that this nation is not going to be in its right mind. Remember when we talked about the wine of Babylon? The wine of Babylon makes people drunk, and when they're drunk, they can't think straight. Jeremiah 51 and verse 7 says that through the wine of Babylon, the nations became mad. In Hebrew, it means the nations became deranged. Mentally ill, if you please, the nations became as a result of drinking the wine of Babylon, which are her false doctrines. And one of those great false doctrines is the idea that the church has two swords. And the church can not only preach God's word, but the church can also use the sword of the state to punish dissenters who do not agree with her doctrines and don't do exactly what she says. Now, if you live in the United States, you know that some amazing things have happened in the last few years. Some ex-presidents kneeling before the body of John Paul II. The Pope visiting the White House, receiving a standing ovation in the United Nations, and many religious leaders coming to a cathedral in New York when he visited the United States, including representatives from practically every major Protestant denomination. And each one of these leaders, I watched it on television, the Protestant churches came forward and shook his hand, some of them even giving him a bow and saying some real kind words to him. Listen, if they understood Bible prophecy as it was understood 200 or 250 years ago, they wouldn't even come anywhere near this system. But people have forgotten the roots of prophecy.